What would happen if the way you begin each morning is quietly shaping the level of happiness you experience throughout your life? Many people wake up in haste, in restlessness, in tension, without realizing that the first moments after opening the eyes are when the mind is at its softest and most easily influenced. According to the teachings of the Buddha, the morning is not simply the start of a new day. It is the foundation of your inner life. This video is not about productivity, achievement, or doing more. It is about creating peace before the world begins to ask anything of you. Here are 10 morning habits illuminated by Buddhist wisdom, gently guiding you toward a happier, calmer, and more meaningful life in 2026. Listen slowly and allow each morning to become a new beginning. Habit 1. Waking up without immediately reaching for your phone. The first habit may seem very small, yet it has the power to change the entire rhythm of a day. When the alarm rings, many people reach for their phone before they have even felt their body resting in bed. Within just a few seconds, the mind becomes flooded with notifications, news, plans, comparisons, and worries that have not yet happened. The body has awakened, but the mind has already been pulled away from the present moment. According to the teachings of the Buddha, when the mind is not cared for, it naturally grasps and clings. It searches for reassurance, control, and stimulation from the outside. Each morning, when you allow your phone to decide your inner state, you hand the direction of your mind over to the external world. From there, suffering begins very early, even before the day has truly opened. Instead, try something very simple. When you first wake up, pause. Do nothing for a brief moment. Feel the weight of your body resting on the bed. Notice the breath moving in and out naturally. There is no need to control it and no need to think. Simply remind yourself silently that you are here, you are awake, and you are alive. You do not need to meditate for a long time, and you do not need to force yourself to be calm. Just allow 30 to 60 seconds without touching the screen. If possible, place your phone out of reach, or gently tell yourself that the first 2 minutes of the day belong to you. In Buddhism, beginnings are always important because the way we begin often shapes the way everything else unfolds. Habit 2. Greet the morning with conscious breathing. After allowing yourself to wake up without immediately reaching for the outside world, the next gift you can offer yourself is full presence through the breath. In the teachings of the Buddha, the breath is not merely air moving in and out of the lungs. The breath is a bridge between the body and the mind, an anchor that helps you return to the moment you are living. Whether you pay attention to it or not, the breath is always there, quietly sustaining your life. As soon as you open your eyes, take a few seconds to feel a slow inhale through the nose. Notice the cool sensation moving gently down into the chest and the belly. Then exhale softly, as if you are releasing the tensions that remain from sleep. There is no need to count the rhythm. There is no need to control anything. Simply observe. The breath knows how to come in and how to go out on its own. As you breathe, notice what the body may be holding. Are the jaws clenched? Are the shoulders lifted? With each exhale, allow those areas to soften a little more. Thoughts about the day ahead may arise, and that is completely natural. You do not need to push them away. Simply notice them and return to the breath. In Buddhism, breathing practice is not meant to empty the mind. It helps you not be carried away by it. When a new day begins with a few conscious breaths, you send yourself a gentle message that you do not need to rush in order to exist. Before leaving the bed, 3 to 5 breaths like this are enough to anchor the mind in the present moment. Peace does not come from perfect days. It begins with a steady breath. Habit 3. Set an intention instead of a to-do list. After the breath has brought you back to the present moment, the morning can continue in a very different way from what you may be used to. Many people wake up and immediately begin listing in their minds everything they need to do, the responsibilities waiting for them, and the tasks left unfinished. That list creates pressure from the very beginning, causing the day to start with a feeling of being pushed forward. In the spirit of Buddhist teachings, there is a gentler path. It is to begin the day with an intention for how to live, rather than with obligations. An intention is not a goal that must be completed. It does not demand success or perfection. An intention is simply the way you wish to be present today. Each morning, you can ask yourself a very small question. What quality do I want to live with today? It might be patience, kindness, presence, or sincerity. Choose just one and carry it lightly with you. In the teachings of the Buddha, suffering often arises from attachment to outcomes. When the mind is focused only on how things must turn out, we lose connection with how we are actually living. Intention brings you back to the process rather than the result. You may not be able to decide what will happen today, but you can influence how you respond. Once an intention is set, you begin to notice when you drift away from it. If you are driving in heavy traffic and feel irritation rising, you remember patience. If you are speaking with a colleague and your tone becomes tight, you remember kindness. Even when children interrupt your plans, the intention of presence brings you back to this moment. You do not need to get it right all day long. You only need to notice and return. Happiness is nurtured through the harmony between what you value and the way you live each day. Habit 4. Begin the day with gratitude for what is still present. When you begin the day with an intention for how to live and carry patience or kindness into ordinary moments, you can continue to nurture the mind in a very gentle way. Instead of focusing on what is missing or incomplete, you softly return to what is present in your life right now. Gratitude in the spirit of Buddhism is not about forcing yourself to feel happy or denying difficulties. It is a clear and honest way of seeing. You recognize that you are still breathing, that this body is still supporting you, and that today is still an opportunity to begin again. The Buddha taught that contentment is the greatest wealth a person can have. When you recognize what you already possess, the craving for more begins to quiet down. You compare less, you rush less, and it becomes easier to touch a sense of enough. This practice does not require you to list many things. A single sincere sentence of gratitude before stepping out of bed is enough to set the emotional tone for the entire day. You might silently say that you are grateful for this breath, for this body, or for a new day opening before you. When the morning begins from a sense of sufficiency, the mind is less pulled by unconscious comparisons. Life does not need to be perfect to be worthy of appreciation and gentle care each day. Habit 5. Move the body gently with awareness. When the mind has been settled through intention and gratitude, you can continue returning to the place where all experience begins. That place is the body. In the spirit of Buddhist teachings, the body is not separate from the mind. The body is the mind's first home, the place where every emotion passes before becoming a thought. When the morning goes by without any connection to the body, the mind can become scattered and tired without us knowing why. You do not need to exercise intensely or force yourself to move. What matters is not what you do, but how you are present in each movement. A few gentle stretches, a slow walk, some simple yoga postures, or even cleaning your living space or making a cup of tea with full attention can all become a practice. When you move with mindfulness, you are returning to yourself before the world pulls you outward. The Buddha taught the middle way, and this also applies to caring for the body, neither forcing nor neglecting. Each morning, the body may feel different. Some days it feels light, other days it feels heavy. Both are allowed. When you listen to the body, instead of pushing it to match your expectations, stored tension begins to release naturally. Many emotions do not appear first as thoughts. They live in the shoulders, the neck, the back, and in shallow breathing. When you move slowly and pay attention to sensation, those emotions have a chance to soften and pass. You can begin very small. Gently rotate the neck, relax the shoulders, lengthen the spine for about a minute. Then continue longer if the body wishes. Just 3 to 5 minutes of conscious movement in the morning is enough to begin the day with greater presence. You no longer feel scattered. You start the day feeling that you are living inside your body, rather than being carried away by the familiar rush. Habit 6. Consume less and notice more. After returning to the body and feeling clearer presence in each movement, your morning can be further protected by choosing carefully what is allowed to enter the mind. It is not only touching the phone that creates disturbance. Subtle unease often comes from taking in too much information unconsciously, especially at the beginning of the day. In modern life, many people carry the weight of the entire world into their minds from early morning. News, social media, opinions, and the worries of others all rush in at once while the mind is still very soft. In the spirit of Buddhist teachings, unconscious consumption is not a true need. It is a habit of seeking stimulation to fill an inner emptiness. The result is a mind that becomes restless, scattered, and unable to settle. The practice of this habit is not about avoiding information, but about learning to distinguish what is necessary and what can wait. You might choose to delay reading the news until after breakfast or until after the first hour of waking. During that time, bring attention to what is present right in front of you, the sounds around you, the feeling of water flowing over your hands, the taste of your food, the steady rhythm of the breath in your chest. In Zen practice, there is a very simple spirit. When drinking tea, just drink tea. When eating, just eat. Direct awareness nourishes a deeper sense of contentment than any form of stimulation. When you notice more, the urge to consume lessens. When you consume less, the mind becomes clearer and lighter. The morning does not need to carry the weight of the whole world. You do not need to know everything immediately. You do not need to respond to everything. One small guideline can help you begin. Let information wait for you, instead of letting your mind run after information. When a new day begins with discernment and awareness, you may feel a quiet kind of happiness. It is the sense of being enough while living directly with what is happening, rather than being pulled into invisible currents. Habit 7. Practice loving kindness toward yourself. After reducing external influences and giving the mind space to settle, there is still something very important to care for in the morning. It is the way you treat yourself. Many people begin the day with self-judgment without realizing it. They criticize their bodies, replay old mistakes, or feel that they are falling behind or not measuring up. When this inner voice appears early, the entire day can easily unfold in tension and defensiveness. In the teachings of the Buddha, compassion is not meant only for others. It must first be offered to yourself. Practicing metta in the morning is a very simple way to create inner safety. As you wake up, you can place one hand on your chest or your abdomen. Feel the warmth and the gentle contact of your hand. Then softly say a few short phrases to yourself. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I live this day with ease. At first, these words may feel unfamiliar or uncomfortable. That feeling is not wrong. It simply shows that you have been used to treating yourself harshly for a long time. The discomfort is a sign that you are learning to be gentler. The Buddha taught that no one deserves your compassion more than you do. Without kindness toward yourself, even good efforts become heavy. When you begin the day as a friend to yourself, inner resilience grows naturally. You allow yourself to make mistakes without sinking into shame. You recover more quickly from difficulties. Self-compassion creates the conditions for growth without pressure. It helps you mature without hurting yourself. Just a few metta phrases each morning are enough to change the inner voice. When the inner world becomes safer, you step into the day with softness and steadiness. Everything else becomes easier from there. Habit 8. Remember impermanence and allow it to soften the heart. After learning how to treat yourself with kindness, the morning can move more deeply into a core wisdom of Buddhism. The wisdom is impermanence. Each morning, before the new day fully opens, there is a quiet truth that is always present. Everything is changing. Nothing remains the same, including the body, emotions, relationships, or the circumstances of your life. In Buddhism, impermanence is not a reminder meant to create fear. It is not taught to make people pessimistic or hopeless. On the contrary, impermanence is a source of liberation. Much of our suffering arises because we forget this truth. We live as if we have endless time. We assume the people around us will always be there. We believe that everything will eventually settle according to our wishes. And so we postpone living fully, postpone kindness, and postpone appreciating the present moment. Each morning, you can gently remind yourself of one simple sentence. Today is precious. This moment will not return. That reminder does not carry sadness. It carries awareness. When you remember that time does not stand still, the way you step into the day begins to change. When impermanence is remembered, you argue less. You no longer try to prove that you are right in every situation. You cling less to the idea that everything must follow a fixed plan. Small things that once caused tension begin to lose their weight. You soften in how you see, how you speak, and how you respond. The Buddha taught that we suffer because we try to hold on to what is already changing. We want pleasant feelings to last forever. We want others to never disappoint us. We want life to remain completely stable. But life is movement. When you remember impermanence, you stop demanding permanence from temporary things. You allow yourself and others to change. The phrase "this too will pass" can become a companion throughout the day. When stress appears, you know it will not stay forever. When sadness arises, you understand that it is moving. And when joy comes, you cherish it more deeply because you know it is fragile. Impermanence keeps you from being swept away by any state. This practice is especially meaningful in a world that is constantly shifting. When everything outside changes quickly, remembering impermanence helps you resist reality less. You stop wasting energy wishing things were different. Instead, you learn to live with the flow. Each morning, one reminder is enough. This moment will not return. When those words sink into the heart, ordinary things become more precious. A simple morning, a steady breath, a day that can be lived. Impermanence turns routine into reverence. It reminds you to live more gently, to love sooner, and to be fully present with a life that is passing by moment after moment. Habit 9. Begin the day in silence and allow your inner voice to return. After touching the wisdom of impermanence and learning to soften in the face of change, the morning can open with something very simple yet deeply profound. That is silence. Before the world begins to speak, before roles and responsibilities appear, there is always a quiet space waiting to be heard. In Buddhism, silence is not emptiness. Silence is full presence. Many people wake up to the sound of alarms, messages, voices, and a continuous stream of thoughts. The mind is pulled outward before it even realizes that it is alive. Over time, this constant noise disconnects us from our true feelings, our real needs, and our own direction. Morning silence helps restore that connection. This habit does not require long meditation or a special place. Just 2 or 3 minutes of intentional silence are enough to create a shift. When you wake up, you may sit up or remain lying down. Do not speak. Do not touch your phone. Do not plan the day. Simply be there. Listen to the sounds that exist around you. A distant car, the wind, your own breath. Within this silence, thoughts may become more noticeable. The mind may feel restless or uncomfortable. This is completely natural. You do not need to force your mind to be quiet. You are simply seeing clearly what has always been there. The Buddha taught that clarity does not arise through force, but through the end of unconscious reaction. As you sit in silence and stop chasing each thought, something begins to change. You realize that you do not need to fill every empty space. You do not need extra stimulation to feel okay. Gradually, dependence on distraction decreases. Trust in yourself grows. You begin to hear your inner voice more clearly, not as a voice of judgment, but as a gentle knowing of what truly matters today. Silence is not an escape from life. It is preparation. When you give yourself a moment of silence in the morning, you place yourself at the center of your life rather than at the edges of demands and reactions. From there, You step into the world with greater steadiness. You speak more slowly. You choose words more carefully. You listen to others with deeper attention. In the Buddhist spirit, wisdom often appears in moments that are undisturbed, not as a dramatic insight, but as a quiet knowing. You may sense what needs to be done now and what can wait, what is draining you and what is nourishing you. These realizations are not loud. They arrive softly. As you become familiar with silence, you no longer fear it. You do not need music or your phone to avoid emptiness. You learn how to be with yourself. This brings a deep kind of freedom. You are not pulled by every external stimulus. You do not react immediately to every situation. You gain a pause in which to choose. This practice is especially important in a world filled with speed and information. When the outside keeps demanding more, silence becomes a refuge, not a place to hide, but a place to recover. You carry that silence into the day as an inner anchor. Even when the day becomes busy, a single breath can bring you back to that quiet space. A very simple way to practice is to spend 3 minutes in silence before turning the world on, before opening your phone, before speaking, before stepping out of the room. Those 3 minutes allow you to enter the day from awareness rather than from habit. You are not pulled away. You are consciously present. When the morning begins in silence, you prepare a steady foundation for yourself. You no longer feel the need to chase everything. You know that you can return at any time. Silence teaches you that peace is not something to be achieved. It is something that can be allowed. And when you allow silence to be present at the very start of the day, you give yourself the gift of clarity, trust, and lightness to carry you through the rest of the journey. Habit 10. Remember your intention to live kindly from the very beginning of the day. After the morning has opened in silence and you have had a chance to return to yourself, the final element that can connect all the previous practices together is kindness. This is not something you need to add to your list of tasks. It is something to be remembered. Before roles, responsibilities, and expectations appear, you can remind yourself that you are here to cultivate kindness in every moment. In Buddhism, kindness is not a rigid moral rule. It is a guiding light for action. When the mind rests on kindness, every word and every deed naturally finds its direction. You do not need to become someone else. You only need to remember how you wish to show up in this world. Each morning, you can take a quiet moment to offer a simple wish to yourself. May my words today be gentle. May my actions cause no additional harm. May my presence bring ease. These wishes are not promises of perfection. They are gentle orientations. When you forget, you can return. When you make a mistake, you can begin again. The kindness the Buddha taught is not meant only for others. It must include yourself. Many people try to be kind to others while being harsh with themselves. They blame themselves when they feel tired, criticize themselves for not doing enough, or dismiss their own emotions. This imbalance makes kindness fragile. When you allow yourself to be human, limited and learning, kindness can flow naturally. When you begin the day with kindness toward yourself, you create inner safety. From that space, you no longer need to stay constantly on guard. You do not need to prove your worth. You can listen to others without feeling threatened. You can respond without attacking. The Buddha taught that when the mind is nourished by compassion, it becomes a refuge for yourself and for others. In daily life, you will meet difficult people, tense situations, and moments that do not go as planned. When you remember your intention to live kindly in the morning, you gain a pause before reacting. You may remember that the person in front of you is also carrying their own suffering. They too are seeking safety, understanding, and peace, just like you. This perspective does not make you weak. It makes you deeper. Kindness does not mean accepting harmful behavior. It does not require silence or endurance. In the Buddhist spirit, kindness is responding without malice. It is speaking truth without causing injury. It is setting boundaries without hatred. When you remember this intention each morning, you are no longer trapped in old reactions. You have choice. The Buddha taught that intention is karma in its earliest form. Before speech or action, there is intention in the mind. When you set the intention to live kindly at the start of the day, you shape the direction of karma for that day. Even if you do not live it perfectly, the intention still leaves its mark. It brings you back sooner. It helps you apologize earlier. It allows forgiveness to come more easily. Over time, this habit transforms how you understand happiness. Happiness is no longer something you chase through achievement or approval. It becomes something you cultivate each day through how you treat yourself and others. Kindness creates continuity between your inner life and your outer actions. You are no longer divided between what you believe and how you live. When you look back on a human life, what remains is not a list of completed tasks. It is how people felt around you. The sense of ease, of being heard, of being safe in your presence. Kindness is your legacy. Quiet, unseen, yet enduring. Each morning, one reminder is enough. Today, I choose kindness. That sentence does not make the day perfect, but it gives you direction. When things become difficult, you know where you want to return. When you feel lost, you know what matters. When the morning begins with kindness, you carry it into every moment. A slower word, a fuller listening, a gaze with less judgment. These small things create ripples you may never see, yet they exist, and they return to you as a deep and steady peace. Kindness is not something you add to life. It is how you live. When you remember this at the very start of the day, happiness is no longer somewhere ahead. It is present in each step, and from there, you enter the world with a heart that is steady, soft, and guided by wisdom. These 10 morning habits are not rules you must perform correctly. They are more like companions, quietly reminding you to return to presence, to kindness, and to inner balance. You do not need to practice them perfectly, and you do not need to change everything at once. Just one morning and then another morning. Happiness in the Buddhist spirit is cultivated this way, through small moments, through each gentle return. If you were able to practice today, allow yourself a smile. If you forgot today, that is also okay. The path of practice always allows you to begin again. Each time you wake up is a new opportunity to live more gently, more mindfully, and more kindly toward yourself. If these reflections brought you a sense of calm or clarity, you are welcome to walk alongside the channel Buddhist in Life by subscribing. Here, we listen together to simple teachings from Buddhism to heal and rediscover balance in everyday life. May your mornings be gentle. May your heart remain light. And remember that you can always begin again tomorrow.